This video examines grammar in the first sentence of the story Thank You, Ma'am by Langston Hughes. Now, this story is about poverty, crime, kindness, forgiveness, and the African American experience in the beginning of the 20th century. We're just going to look at the grammar in the first sentence. So it goes, she was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but hammer and nails. That's how he opens the story. We can ask ourselves for grammar, what kind of sentence is this? And we can see a couple different answers. One answer is to say it was a declarative sentence. It's making a statement. You can also say that this is a complex sentence. There's different ways to describe what type of sentence it is. In a complex sentence, there's an independent clause, which you can see in red. And then there's a subordinate or dependent clause, which you can see underlined in blue. If we look at these clauses, we can say the independent clause is a thing that could stand on its own. She was a large woman with a large purse. That's a good sentence just by itself. That's why it's an independent clause. Then you can say the subordinate or dependent clause cannot stand on its own as a sentence. That had everything in it but hammer and nails. It has a subject, which is that, and it has a verb, which is had. However, it's missing something to describe what you would call the complete thought. Also, the whole thing is an adjective clause to describe the purse. So there's no complete thought, like I said. What else can we say? If you look at it, there are prepositional phrases in this. With a large purse, in it, but hammer and nails. Those are all prepositions, and they do the job of relating nearby words. For example, with is a preposition that relates the woman to having the purse. It takes those nearby words and it relates them somehow. Finding prepositions and prepositional phrases can help us find the subject. So, if we take out the prepositional phrases and the other parts of that subordinate or dependent clause, we can see what we have left. She was a large woman. Easy. From here, you can see she must be the subject and was is the verb. We've almost looked at all the grammar in this sentence. There's a couple other little details. We can say was is a linking verb. It's connecting the subject of she to the complement of that subject, woman. We can also remember things like large is an adjective. Is also an adjective. Specifically, it's an article. So with those little details, we've looked at the kind of sentence, the clauses in the sentence, the subject and verb of the sentence. We can graph all these things out when you do what's called diagramming a sentence. She was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but hammer and nails. So we're set up and going. When you diagram a sentence out like this, it can seem pretty confusing, but it lets us see where's the subject, where's the verb, how the different clauses are related, and all the little adjectives and prepositional phrases that can hang off of things. So, that leads us to a question. Why write like this? Why did Langston Hughes decide to start this story like this? Well, I'm not Langston Hughes, but we can think of things such as it's how he thought, it's how he wanted the words to sound. If you chopped it up and you wrote in shorter sentences, and you said, she was a large woman, she had a large purse. The purse had everything in it but hammer and nails. It sounds a little bit choppy. The complexity of writing it out in that longer sentence helps establish a flow and a rhythm to the writing, and that's how Langston Hughes wanted it to sound to the reader. This has been Grammar in the First Sentence of Thank You, Ma'am, the story by Langston Hughes. Thanks for watching.